everyone, Susie here with Fateless, and I am joined by Nico. Welcome, Nico.
Hey guys, how you doing?
So you guys might remember Nico. We've had a couple videos you've appeared in from when you first joined us, and a recent podcast where there was definitely some fun moments there.
Some insect eating stories, sure.
Yes. Can't forget that. That was definitely entertaining. Yeah, Nico joined us at Gamescom, which was super fun. And yeah, got to meet you there. It was wonderful meeting you. And now we're gonna get serious, kind of. We're gonna dive into 3D character creation, like his process. We're gonna kind of showcase what it really takes from like kind of the base here to all the detail.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. So we're kind of also leak Sigurd. We haven't showed this character yet, so
That's true. This is the first time we show anything from this character. And I think we have probably shown one or two characters from the Asgardian faction. So
yeah.
this is gonna be one of them. Now
Okay.
you know that. Now that it's
Yes.
leaked.
Yes, yeah, we do have Asgard. There's only one faction we haven't shown as a thing yet. So
Ooh.
what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna let this play. There might be some moments where we loop it, talk over, whatever, but Nico's gonna talk us through what he's up to here. Maybe we could talk about some challenges, some of the most interesting parts.
Yeah, and I thought actually maybe I can take you through a little bit before we even start, a little bit what is the
Okay.
process. So what goes on before I even start working on these 3D
Okay.
models. We can do that. So
Sounds good.
So the designers, the character designers will design a character based on a legend, and then they'll send this to the concept artist. The concept artist will create a concept art piece based on that design, and then that concept art piece will be handed over to the 3D artists. I am one of those 3D artists, and I'm focusing on creating 3D characters. So yeah, that's how it all starts, and let's go. Yeah, so what you're seeing here is me blocking out the different proportions of the character. I'm doing this using reference that I got from the 2D concept artist. So we're using these base body meshes to speed up the process. And for this specific character, I was supposed to be using another base body type. The brief said Hulk body type, so I started with a Hulk body type. It turned out to be a different kind of Hulk. I mean, this guy is still pretty shredded and pretty big, but it's not the Hulk. So yeah, and then I start blocking out the different pieces and elements. And yeah, that's the first step. And I'm in my workflow, I'm gonna probably spend 70 to 80% of the time doing just that. So that's gonna be character block out, making sure that all of the shapes and proportions are correct and that they do follow the concept art as closely as possible. And I'll of course have to do corrections and changes because not everything translates perfectly from 2D to 3D. So that's what you see me doing here. So if you stop for a minute, maybe. At this point, the base primary shapes of the character, the main proportions I've already blocked out. And so from this point onwards, it really is just a matter of polishing the shapes and making sure that the geometry that I'm using is good so that I can work on it.
There's so much
so
detail already. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy actually. This one, I think it looks more detailed than it really is because of the scales, right? Like it really adds a lot of a different level of detail that you wouldn't see at this stage in a lot of characters. But yeah, no, the scales were a lot of fun to make. I can tell you a little bit of the process for the scale. So generally speaking, if you want to speed up the process of creating scales, in this case, things that are going to be repeating a lot, you can use stylable textures. These have ups and downs. What do you call that? Good things and bad things, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what the term would be.
So in this case, for this specific character, I chose to use geometry to create the scales because it will deliver a much better result, in my opinion.
Even the back. Okay, wait, the back head.
Yeah,
There's some scales.
That's another thing. Yeah. So a lot of things you can kind of get away with. So if people are not going to be seeing the back, you can actually get away with not working on the back. I don't like to do that because there's always
we show the back, so the back's important. That's what the people see the most, actually.
But in this case, it is going to be covered by a cape. So
Ah.
if I would have wanted to, I could have just like gnawed down the bag in theory. Obviously, you don't do that. But and also, I am the kind of player that will go and look and inspect the characters uh, for maybe an hour each to
Oh no.
yeah, and look into every nook and cranny, because I really like that. I really like to see the level of detail and the work that the artists put into their work. So I also make sure to do the same with my own work. So even the parts that you're not going to see, I try to really work as well.
Yeah, it really pops though. Like it's so cool to see the different layers come together. I love it. And the chainmail is really neat.
Yeah, and again, there are so many ways to create these things. Certainly, repeating patterns, tilables. There are many ways to create them. There, again, you can use geometry, 3D geometry. You can use actual textures that you create procedurally and that conform to the model. In this specific case, I chose to do it all using geometry. Oh, and by the way, this is also a very cool thing, maybe. So this is apparently, from what I've heard, one of the favorite characters from our art director at Magic
Yeah.
Media. So Sigurd is part of, I believe, some of the stories of where he comes from, stories, legends, whatever. So yeah, there was some extra pressure added to this one. I really wanted to nail the character and make sure that it looked good,
I think it's the
because
one
I knew that.
Germanic character, you know? It's like
Yeah,
that's why so far.
yeah, that is correct. Yeah, yeah. So I really wanted to make sure to nail this one and to make sure that he was happy with what I was delivering. At this point, most of the high resolution model has been completed. So I finished doing the whole preparation and then the detailing and all of that. At this point, what I'm doing is creating the low resolution model that is going to go into the game. So what we do is we take the high resolution and project the details onto a lower resolution mesh. So this is so what you see to the left, those
Yeah.
squares. That's what is gonna, what the mesh is comprised of these polygons, triangles, and that's where we are gonna project the high resolution detail on, and uh, and that's what I'm basically creating at this point, trying to be really precise. What you really want to try to do is to have even geometry all across the board, so that the textures, the textures in the character, they form correctly. It's really a process where, or a part of the process where you can kind of like in a way shut your brain off. So the creative part is over. At this point, you're really just following steps, let's say. And
Yeah.
for me, it's actually a pretty relaxing part of the process, trying to figure out the best way to capture all of the details that I've created on the high resolution mesh. So the green mesh, that is going to be what we call a decimated variant of the high resolution
Oh.
mesh, which allows me to export this high resolution mesh and work on top of it. So that's what that signifies. And then the blue simply means that is the mesh that is being created on top. So this is what you see here. And these colors can always, you can always change them, but these are the colors that I choose to work with. And yeah, here you see me creating the head and the hair, and we're trying to figure out better ways to represent things like long hair, braids, capes. We're constantly trying to improve that kind of stuff on the technical side. So rigs and animations, how we best, how can we get the best results out of the 3D models that are being made by the character artists? So in this case, the head and the hair are going together, but they're separate from the body. This is going to allow for separate deformations, so the hair is going to be able to move freely once the rig, the bones of the character are created.
And then you end up
Yeah,
this is the high res, of course, right? This is
yeah.
the end
This
product of
the high resolution mesh,
yeah, that's
and our goal
amazing.
is of course to try to make the low resolution mesh match this as much as we can. There's never going to be, or there's going to be very few instances where you can get it all in there, but that's our goal. That's,
Okay. Yeah, the detail's
yeah.
awesome. I like it. I remember seeing this one. Yeah, Alex was really excited for this one because he's like, it's our one Germanic character. I have to have to represent.
Yeah, I
Really
really wonder.
cool.
I actually still have to send it to him, like the final version. I think
Oh,
I'm probably gonna do that today because I'm really curious to know to hear what he thinks about it.
and then when does the
Um,
colorized version and all that get done? Like, was that still you or is that someone else?
no, that's still me. So for that to happen, I first need to finish the low resolution mesh, which I'm currently working on. That'll take a day for me to finish it, and then you have to create what we call UVs, and this is where the textures are going to be placed on. And once that has been done and that's been done correctly, we go ahead and create the textures. So that's what I'm probably going to be doing tomorrow. Today, I still have to do the whole baking the high resolution mesh onto the low resolution mesh and start, and tomorrow I'm going to start texturing. But
That's
it's very exciting. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the process because that's when you get to see your work coming to life.
Yeah, this looks great. Awesome job. It's really cool seeing the process. I know that we always get wonderful comments when we share stuff, like from Esther as well. And
Yeah,
yeah,
which is
the peek
amazing.
behind the
Yeah.
scenes. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's very cool to see the creative process, and everyone works in a different way, and everyone creates things differently. But at the end of the day, it's about like the end result, the product in the end, and what we're delivering. I think is something that we can be proud of.
All right. Well, thank you, Nico, for joining me for this and the showcase here. It's wonderful. We're definitely going to have to show more of your art in the future, I am sure.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks to Nico for sharing his process, and thank you guys for watching. Let us know in the comments below, what do you think of Sigurd here? I think he looks awesome. I can't wait to see it actually in game and colored, and wonderful work, wonderful work.
Really
And yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys, we will catch you in the next video.